Hello everyone, this is Smiti. Today I'll teach you about the rise of small kingdoms in North India. So, in this video, I'll deal with the introduction of the chapter, that is the 10th chapter, and about the important kingdoms that rose in North India. So, let us see. Harshvardhan was the last great ruler of North India. After his death, the whole empire disintegrated into small kingdoms. What is a kingdom? Kingdom is a territory ruled by a king. Why this disintegration took place? Because of lack of proper administration by his weak successors. Whoever became the king after Harshvardhan, they lacked proper administration that led to political and economic instability in North India. Out of the ruins of Harshvardhan, the whole empire disintegrated and three new kingdoms rose between 750 CE to 1000 CE. That is why this period is known as the Age of Three Empires. The Rashtrakutas took over the northern Deccan, the Pratiharas started ruling in Avanti, and the Palas in the East India. So let us see one by one the Rashtrakutas. The Rashtrakutas established the most powerful empire in 753 CE. They became masters of large areas of Gujarat, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar. Their empire acted as a bridge between the north and the south India. Why a bridge? How a bridge? Bridge because the Deccan part is in between the north and the south part of India, so it acted as a bridge. Danti Durga is said to be the real founder of Rashtrakuta Empire, but Amogha and Govinda III were also important kings during this period. They were great warriors, art lovers, and scholars. Who are warriors? Warriors means brave soldiers, and scholars means learned persons. They took up the titles of Maharaja Dhiraj, Parambhatrak, and Chakravarti. They maintained huge armies. Why they maintained huge armies? So that if any empire or any kingdom attacks on them, they can also attack them simultaneously. They also encourage trade. Why they encourage trade? Because for the prosperity of people. If trade will flourish, income will generate, and so the people will become prosperous. They followed Jainism, but they also patronized Buddhists, Hindus, and Muslims. They were religious tolerant. What is religious tolerant? Religious tolerant means that if we should respect our religion as well as if we have the respect for the other religions, we allow the others to follow their own religion according to them, then it is known as religious tolerant. So, Rashtrakutas were religious tolerant. Their rules saw flourishing of regional literature. Means the literature was written in different regional languages. Amogha Varsha was a great Sanskrit scholar. He also wrote Kavira Marga, which is one of the oldest Kannada poetry. Ellora caves were built during the reign of Rashtrakutas. The Chalukya Rashtrakuta Empire of 10th century CE. Now let us see Palas. After the death of Harshvardhan and the ascending of Palas in Bengal, no much information is available about Bengal, but it is believed that lot of infighting was going on between the people of Bengal. So the people elected Gopala as their king to maintain the peace. The king, after Gopala, whoever became the king, they took up the title as Pala. That is why this dynasty known as Pala dynasty. What is a dynasty? If the kings are from the same hereditary pattern is followed to become a king, then for example, grandfather was a king, then his son becomes a king, and after that his son becomes a king. It is known as dynasty. Dharampala was the greatest ruler of this dynasty. He built Vikramshil Bihar, a place for Buddhist education. They were followers of Buddhism. They sent many scholars to distant countries to flourish Buddhism. They also paid generous grants to means they gave grants or monies to Brahmins to build temples. They were great patrons of art, education, and literature. What is a patron? A patron is a one who gives or supports the things they like here they loved art, literature, and education, so they supported these things. The Pratiharas were Gujara Pratiharas. Why? Because it is believed that they originated from Gujarat. Nagabhatta was the real founder of Pratiharas, but King Mihir Bhoj was one of the most important kings who conquered Kannauj around 836 CE. The Pratiharas were great warriors. They were patron of art and literature. Means Pratiharas also supported art and literature. Regional languages developed at fast during this period. Means like Marathi started in Maharashtra, Gujari in Gujarat, Punjabi in Punjab, etc. The beautiful temples of Khajuraho, Tanjavur, Bhubaneswar, Puri, and Karnak were also during. The art of miniature painting also developed during this rule. What is miniature painting? Miniature painting means small painting with great details. Now, last topic we have the tripartite struggle. As the name suggests, tri or tri meaning three, the struggle between the Rashtrakutas, the Palas, and the Pratiharas. They were continuously fighting with each other to occupy Kannauj. Kannauj was an important center for trade. That is why they always fought one another's Kannauj. Each one of them succeeded in occupying Kannauj in turns, as all were at par in military strength. Everyone's strength was equal, but continuous battle between the three kingdoms led to the simultaneous decline within a period of 100 years. So in this map we can see the areas where Pratiharas, Palas, and Rashtrakutas ruled. Yellow part, the Deccan part, was ruled by Rashtrakuta. The Pratiharas we can see near Gujarat, Rajasthan, and Pala dynasty, Bihar, Bengal. So in the second part of the video, I'll discuss about how after the disintegration of these three important kingdoms, Rajputs came in North India. Then we'll talk about the administration, economy, society, etc. of North India. Thank you.